Good afternoon, dear students. Today we are going to see about the lesson 14 means of transport in plants, diffusion, active transport, osmosis, water absorbing unit, pathway, and the types of movements. First is means of transport in plants. Transport of materials in and out of the cells. It is carried out by diffusion and active transport. First, diffusion. The movement of molecules in liquid, gases, and solids, that is, amino acids, glucose, etc., from a region of higher concentration to a region of their lower concentration without the utilization of energy is called diffusion. It is a passive process. You can see the diagram. Before diffusion, the molecules are present more in the outside. After diffusion, the molecules present outside is coming towards the higher concentration to lower concentration in the middle of the cell. This is what diffusion. Next is active transport. Active transport, it utilizes energy to pump molecules against a concentration gradient. Active transport is carried out by membrane bound proteins. The oval shape purple color is proteins. These proteins use the energy to carry substances across the cell membrane, hence they are often referred to as pumps. It is called pumps. These pumps can transport substances from a low concentration to a high concentration. So only it is called uphill transport. You can see the diagram. Diffusion, passive transport. Here diffusion, active transport. Lower concentration to higher concentration. The energy ATP molecule is mentioned. Next is osmosis. It is the movement of a solvent or water molecules from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. This process is carried out till an equilibrium is reached. Osmosis can be explained using thistle funnel experiment. Inside the thistle funnel, sugar solution is present. Inside the beaker, water is present. The water molecules passes through the semi-permeable membrane present under the thistle funnel and it increases the level of the sugar solution. You can see the diagram where more molecules are present upside and the molecules are slowly they are passing towards downward and they attain equilibrium where the molecules present in the higher concentration and lower concentration will be equal. So osmosis is also a passive movement of water or any other solvent molecules. It is also a passive process. Next is plasmolysis. It occurs when water moves out of the cell. When you see the diagram, normal plant cell, the water is moving out of the cell. So it results in the shrinkage of the cell membrane away from the cell wall. This happens in plasmolysis. Next is imbibition. It is a type of diffusion in which a solid absorbs water and gets swelled up. You can see the example. Seeds are placed in water containing beaker, the dry seeds, they absorb the water and they become swollen seeds, and after that nature the seed slightly it comes out as a sprout and that sprout changes into a plant. If there is no imbibition, seedlings will not emerge out of the soil. Absorption of water by seeds and dry grapes. Next is root hair, water absorbing unit. Root hair consists of many regions. It has first a region of maturation that contains root hairs, region of elongation, region of meristematic activity, that is root cap. There are millions of root hairs on the tip of the root. They absorb water and minerals by diffusion. Root hairs are thin-walled slender extension of epidermal cell that increase the surface area of absorption. Next is pathway of water absorbed by roots. Once the water enters the root hairs, the concentration of water molecules in the root hair cells become more than that of the cortex. Thus, water from the root hair moves to the cortical cells by osmosis and then reaches the xylem. From there, the water is transported to the stem and the leaves. That is what mentioned in the diagram. Water enters the root hair cell, then it passes through the root cortex cell, then it directly go towards that green color shape is given as xylem vessels. Next is movement of water into the root cell. It is divided into two types. First one is apoplast pathway. The movement of water occurs exclusively through the intercellular spaces. You have to mention clearly the intercellular spaces and the walls of the cell. Apoplastic movement does not involve crossing the cell membrane. This movement is depend on the gradient alone. You can see the red color pathway is called apoplastic route. Symplast pathway. The water travels through the cells, that is their cytoplasm. The intercellular movement is through the plasmodesmata, that is called as plasmodesmata. Water enter the cells through the cell membrane, hence the movement is relatively slower. Movement is again down a potential gradient. The spaces in between a small gaps are present, that is called plasmodesmata. It is a microscopic channels which transfers the cell walls of plant cells, enabling transport between them. Apoplast is mentioned as green color channel, symplast is mentioned as blue color route. Listen to the video clip, understand it, study well, write all the definitions in the science classwork note. We'll see tomorrow. Bye.